Hello guys, good afternoon everyone. Welcome back to online classes at APPA Public School. Okay, students, in the previous class we discussed the most important chapter of the civics part, that is what is democracy and why democracy. As I said you that this chapter is for your midterm examination, yes, and French Revolution. So first we discussed that the meaning of a democracy. What do you mean by democracy? Democracy is a form of a government in which the rulers are elected by the whom? The rulers are elected by the people. So this is called an what? This is called a democracy. Yes, and even we discuss the features of a democracy. There are four kind of features of a democracy. Yes. So first is in a democracy, the power must be rest in the hand of those who elected by the people. Yes, or representatives. Yes. Second, free and fair elections. Yes, first Pakistan case study. Then second feature we got through the free and fair elections, and third rule one person one vote and one value. Yes, and fourth is the most important rule of law and respect for the laws. Yes, rule of law and respect for the laws. By studying all these case study, we got the what? We got the four features of a democracy. And even in the previous class, we discussed that the major, yes, why do we need a democracy, or what is the importance of a democracy? Yes, and here arguments against the democracy. In this part, we discuss argument against the democracy and arguments for democracy. Just we will glance over on it because this question or this part is consist 5 marks. Yes, if we ask demerits. Yes, if we ask demerits for 5 marks, then you have to write all those 5 points. And if we ask merits, yes, then you have to write all those 4 points. Yes, because 5 marks question. So that reason, just we will glance over on it what we discussed in the earlier class or in the previous class. Okay, here the major demerits of democracy or arguments against democracy. See, the first point, as I told you, that leaders keep changing in a democracy. This leads to an what? This leads to an instability in a democracy. It means there is no stable in a democracy. Because of what reason? Because the leaders began to change continuously their parties or in a democracy. Yes. Second is the most important. Thus, democracy is all about the political competition through the what? Through the electoral system, because elections only can create a competition in a democracy. Because if there is no elections, yes, if there is no elections, then no use of a political parties or the government. Yes, so that reason democracy is all about a political competition and power play. Means after electing or after selecting the representative, they enjoy the power on behalf of the peoples. So that democracy is all about the political competition and power play. There is no scope for the morality, or there is no values, yes, in a what there is no values in a political parties. Yes, or there is no scope for a moralities. Yes, and the third point, many people have to be consulted in a democracy, which leads to delays, means taking decisions. And fourth point, we discussed that the most important point is elected leaders do not know the interest of, or elected leaders do not know the best interest of a people, which leads to an what? Which leads to an bad decisions. Yes. So this is the most important point. You have to write this point compulsorily. And fifth point, democracy leads to an corruption because it is based on, or as it is based on the electoral competition. Yes or no? It leads to an corruption because as it is based on the electoral competition. So not only this, even the main sixth point or 7.6 point is that ordinary people do not know what is good for them. So that reason they should not decide anything. So ordinary people, some are educated, yes, and some are uneducated. Yes, so that reason ordinary people do not know what is good for them or the best of them. So that they should not decide anything. And finally, we can say that democracy is not a magical solution for all these problems. Yes, because it has never ended poverty in our country and even in a part of the world. Yes, so even today we can see that where the poor people are becoming too poor and where the rich people are becoming too rich. Then it shows that the democracy is, it has never ended poverty in our country and many parts of the world. Even today we can get to see the poor people in all over the world and even rich people in all over the world. Yes. So these are the major arguments against democracy. The next arguments for democracy is, see here, the first, the years between, as I told you, the years between 1958 to 61. Yes, the year between 1958 to 61, a severe drought which took place in China. Yes, which took place in China, and it was a worst recorded. Yes, it was a worst recorded in the world history. Why? Because 3 million peoples. Yes, 3 million peoples were died in this famine or in this drought. Yes, in this drought or in this famine. How many million peoples? 3 million peoples were died in this famine. And during this time, the India's economic condition was not much better than the home, not much better than the China, but India did not face this kind of a famine or this kind of a drought what the China had. Yes, that's what the China had. So that reason, the economists of the country thought that it was the mistake or it was the major policy of two different political or two government or two decisions of the government. See, so that reason they thought that if the China too had a multi-party election system, that press free to criticize the opposition party or the parties, then so many people may not have died in this famine. Where in the China years between 1958 to 1961. Yes. So by this case study here, we will get what first argument for democracy means merits of a democracy. First demerits, now merits. Yes. So first merit of the democracy is that democracy is better than any other form of a government in responding the needs and demands of the whom, needs and demands of the peoples. Yes, in responding needs and demands of the home, needs of the demands and of the people. Yes. Second, as I told you that democratic government is a more accountable form of a government. Yes, second merit of a democracy or argument for democracy. And third, we discussed that democracy is based on consultation and discussion as it reduces the possibility of a conflict between the different groups. Then it shows that third point, democracy improves the quality of decision making. Yes, democracy improves the what? Democracy improves the quality of a decision making. Yes. Fourth point, democracy provides a method to deal with the differences. Deal with the what? Deal with the differences in between the different social groups. Yes. And see, the next is democracy enhance the dignity of citizens or individuals of our country. Yes, and the last is the most important, that democracy allows us to correct our own mistakes. Yes, so these are the what? These are the merits of what? Merits of the democracy. Yes. So next, today we are going to continue the next part of this chapter, that is broader meaning. Yes, broader meaning of a democracy. So here, the most common form of democracy or quite common form of a democracy is, see, the most common form of democracy is a representative democracy. So in this, the majority people, yes, the majority people rule through their elected representative. See here, people elect the one, people elect the representatives. So it's not possible for the people to rule directly. Yes, rule directly. So that reason, people elect the representative, and representatives are enjoying power on behalf of the people, and they are making a various kind of laws towards to the citizens, and they are enjoying the power on behalf of the own people. So that reason, the most common form of a democracy is a representative democracy. So in this, the majority or the people, yes, in this, the majority people rule through their elected representatives. And see, as we discussed that the modern democracies, yes, the modern democracies involves a large number of people. Yes, a large number of people. The modern democracies involves a large number of people, but yes, but it is not possible. Yes, a large number of people. Modern democracies involves a large number of people, but that it is not possible or impossible. Also, we can say yes, it is not possible for them to sit together and take a collective decisions. Yes, because it's highly impossible for all the people to sit together and take a decision, because some of the people will have their own personal work or any other work. So that reason, modern democracy involves a large number of people, but that it is not possible for them to sit together and take the vote, take the collective decisions. Even if they could, yes, even if they could, the citizen does not have a time first. Yes, the citizen does not have a time, the citizen does not have a desire, yes, and the citizen does not have a skills. Yes, citizen does not have a skills to take part in all the major decisions. Yes, so these three are the most important in making a decision. What is the time, desire, and skills? Yes, if it is possible for them to sit together, but sometimes a citizen does not have a time, citizens does not have a desire, and citizen does not have a skills to take part in the decisions or in the collective decisions. Yes, so that a democratic decision making, see here, a democratic decision making involves a conflict with consent. Yes, a conflict with what? A conflict with consent of all those affected by that decisions. Yes, by that what? By that decisions. And see here, the most important that a powerful and non-powerful people should have the same way. The powerful and non-powerful people should have a same way of thinking in the decisions. Yes, in the thinking in the decisions. So this can be applied. Yes, this can be applied to a government. Yes, the decision making or democratic decision making can be applied to a government or a family, or it can be applied to any other, yes, any other organizations, any other organization. Yes, so or thus, yes, the democracy is a principle. Yes, the democracy is a what? Principle that can be applied. Yes, that can be applied to every sphere of life. Yes, the principle or the democracy is a principle of that can be applied. Yes, that can be applied every sphere of life and can take many forms. And it can take in a many forms. So that reason here, in a democracy, every citizen must and should have a rights to play an equal role in decision making. Okay, when it is possible to play an equal role in decision making, here, see, for this an equal right to vote, yes, is not only sufficient, even the citizens must and should know the equal information, basic education, and as well as equal resources. Then only possible to take part in the democratic decision making. Yes, so these three are the most important. Yes, now how it possible, or how is it possible for the people to play an equal role in a decision making? The first is the citizen must and should know the equal information. Yes, they must and should know the equal information, basic education. Yes, the basic education, and the most important, equal resource. Equal resources, and the fourth is a lot of commitment. Yes, lot of commitments. Yes, a lot of commitments. So these are the what? These are the most important points where the citizen can play an equal role in a decision making. So that reason here we can say that every democracy has tried to realize the ideals or their ideals of democratic decision making. Yes. So this is a broader meaning of a democracy. Yes. Next, note down the homework. So this is a democracy chapter. First question, suggest the strongest. First question, name the common. Yes, name the common form of democracy. Yes, name the common form of what a common form of democracy. How is democratic decisions? How is democratic decisions usually taken? Yes, usually taken. Third question, why it is said that yes, why it is said that there is no scope if there is no scope for morality in democracy. Yes, so this is about 1 mark, this is 1 mark, and so this is also 1 mark. The next question, fourth question is that in which year Zimbabwe got freedom? Freedom, or even we can say independence. Yes. So these are the 4 questions, and note down few more questions. Few more questions that so how did Musharraf established established his rule in Pakistan? Yes, Pakistan. Next question is that name the famous political party of Mexico. This is about 5 marks, and this is about 1 mark. Yes. The next question. Is China a democratic country? Yes, is China a democratic country or not? Give give two arguments two arguments in favor of your answer. Yes, in favor of your answer. Next question. Which form of government how does democracy enhance the dignity of citizens? Yes. So these are the major questions of your homework, and this is about 3 marks, and this is about 3 marks. Yes. I hope everyone understood, and see, this chapter is over or completed, and next chapter is a French Revolution. Yes, a French Revolution is also a most important chapter. So there, describe the 14th July 1789. Then what do you understand by the term Reign of Terror? Yes, this is the most important, the term of Reign of Terror. And did women participated? Yes, or explain the role of women in French Revolution. Yes, we may ask this question, and we may ask, what do you mean by tithes? What do you mean by tithe? Yes, and when did Louis XVI ascended the throne of France? Yes, if ascended the throne of France in the year of 1774. Yes, 14th July, on 14th July 1789. So the city of Paris was in the state of alarm. That is the French Revolution. Describe the event of 14th July 1789. Yes. So this is the most important chapter of this part, civics part. First question we may ask, what do you mean by democracy here? Describe or mention the major key features of a democracy, or else mention the argument against the democracy, or mention the arguments for democracy, or explain the broader meaning of a democracy in your words, or whether the democracy is being considered a broader meaning of a democracy or not. Give a proper statement to this question. So we may ask this question in this way. Yes, please get ready to write or attempt the midterm examination. Over, and in the next class, if possible, we will go for a revision of French Revolution. Okay, I hope everyone understood, and in the next class we will go for next chapter. Okay, thank you, have a nice day.